Good day. I'm MC2, and I have a little kitty cat here with me, and we just finished up a debate with PhD Tony and Flat Tony Naum, who he got mad. Poor guy, he got so angry. And I've got with me, hold on. Hey, kitty. Oh no, stay here, kitty. There it is. I've got with me Planer Walk, who go ahead and talk. They can hear you.
Ahoy hoy.
There it is.
I'm just going to turn on my second light.
Now they can see you. All right. We've got the who's the more important guest star here? Wolfie3010 or Planer Walk or this cat. Who knows this cat's name?
People know. Obviously it's a cat. Like, I think that we should just get cats to run all the debunking shows, and if they don't already, I don't know how it works over on your channel, but I know that Simon Dan's cat actually runs his show. So
yeah. Well, have you seen Simon Dan's cat? It weighs more than Simon Dan.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's like a lion.
Yeah. This guy, it's a girl. She's been trained. Look at her. She just lays there upside down. Just happy to be right there. So, all right. Let's see. I don't see anybody has the name of the cat here. Oh, come on. Lee's Lab. Yeah, people in England are getting up now. It's 8 a.m. in England. So, something like that. So, anyway, so Wolfie.
Well, don't they mean down?
I don't know.
Because England is upside down from New Zealand.
Yeah, you're upside down.
No, they're upside down.
There it is. Quickie got the name. I only know one cat is named Raccoon. We only have one cat. And this is Raccoon right here. She's just, look at it. Just sits there. Just happy to be rolled up in a ball, to be upside down. Just so, all right, there you go, kitty. Yeah, the cat was trained by young kids from the age of the cat being an infant or a kitten, was always held and doesn't know what to do when it's not being held. So oh, I missed the last one. Renee No Name was gonna, is that right? Rodent no last name did a super chat I missed, said he's gonna hold his breath until I admit that Tony Naum owned me. Keep holding that breath. Did you see how much of that did you see there?
I saw some of it. Like I did decide, okay, I'm gonna go get an orange at one point. And then I come back and I see Tony getting yeeted out of the call. So
yeah, well, he yeeted himself. He would not. He was just so at the end. He was so worked up. He would not he'd ask a question, demand an answer, and then 2 words in would interrupt. So.
Yeah, one of the things that because I thought this after show would have Tony on it. One of the things I wanted to ask Tony, and I mean Tony, PhD Tony, not the other Tony. One of the things I wanted to talk to Tony about was the idea of, because I heard once thing about density being brought up, right? And so I was thinking, wait, so if buoyancy is not a force, then how come, or if buoyancy works by itself, should I say, then how come when you drive a car, when you accelerate and decelerate, and you've got a helium balloon, for example, in that car, the helium balloon will appear to move in the car opposite to the acceleration.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah.
And that... yeah, you gun it, and it comes right forward to the windshield.
Yeah. And that is a function of buoyancy.
Yes. it baffles them, doesn't it? They
Oh yeah.
or you know
I
it's what's his name? Oakley's like, is there a uh, a downward bias? Yeah.
yeah.
The thing is, they're unaware, and you see this if you're on Facebook at all. They're unaware that there can be multiple forces acting on an object at the same time. That's what they're missing. You can have buoyancy and gravity at the same time. Or people will post like a superconducting magnet that is oh, you're not Quincy Carr. A superconducting magnet where it's magnetic levitation. It's levitating above this track. And they're like, it disproved gravity. Well, no, it's another force acting against gravity.
Yeah, like
so simple.
Using that logic, I can disprove magnetism real easily. See, I can pull this magnet off of this metal. See, I just disproved the force of magnetism.
Yeah, that is exactly what they're doing. Yeah, mute donkey. Tony didn't want to debate or have a conversation. He wanted to preach.
Yeah, that seems to be what a lot of flat earthers are like people like Jason, obviously people like Nathan Oakley, or Nathan Thompson as well.
Yeah.
A lot of flat earthers just seem to be like that.
They start, it's the process that they take. They typically watch what? They watch a bunch of videos. And they don't have the scientific background to look at that and right away say that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Where somebody that has just a little more scientific background says, wait a second, that's all wrong. That's, what do you mean you can see the lighthouse from this distance? Let me go look it up. And you look it up and you find out, oh, that's totally fine. So
yeah, one thing I did want to ask Tony, because again, not the Tony that not the Flurf Tony, the Tony that we know, is the experiment that proves Earth's core. That's a question that I've been asked by a flat earther that I've had a few discussions with. He wants to know the experiment which proves Earth's core, and I'm sure that it has something to do with seismology. And when it comes to, it's just I'm not sure where to find all the literature about it.
People are sending pictures of K-pop stars with hair like mine. So apparently I'm a...
Speaking of your hair, can I just get you to turn to the side a bit? Can you, other way? A bit more. Okay.
What?
Got it. Cool. Okay. Cool. Got it. You'll see. You'll see in a bit. I'll share my screen after I've done something here.
So yes, this is my 80s hair. I'm hoping somebody asks me to the prom, or not to the prom, to the Sadie Hawkins dance. Right? I don't recognize K-pop stars. Alyssum says it doesn't suit me. Now here's the thing. Hannah and two names that are quite distinctly female have said they like it a lot, and a few guys have said meh. Well, what's up, ladies?
Well, I have had that kind of thing before, especially very recently, where it'll be guys that will find some of the looks that I've been doing recently weird. Yet it will be girls always giving me compliments. Oh, I mean, I can put on a.
It's a tough burden we bear.
Yeah, like I'll
to
go and get
be
one of my
so smoldering that they just can't stop. You know.
I'll go get one of my jackets that I recently got, and I received
right.
so many compliments with this jacket. It is unbelievable. 1 second.
There it is. Hannah Anderson. Yes, I did say that. Makes you look young and hip. So you know what? Scythe DK. Or sorry, Alyssum. I'm going with Hannah. my wife likes it too as well. All right, pull up the pic so people can compare. All right, fine. I will get the picture of all right, hold on. The K-pop star.
There we go.
Ooh, that's the wrong size. Wow. There it is. It went all wonky. I have to readjust everything. Did you find your... Oh, look at that. That's lovely. Ladies, what do you think?
Yeah.
Don't care, Alyssum. Don't care what you think. Just Hannah Anderson and Angel Gamer. And I don't know who else is in here. Mallory. There you go.
So yeah, like I got this. I thought that this looks not really nice when I saw it. And so I was like, oh, I'm getting that. Where are the way? Well, actually, one of the funny things is that the reason why I actually, no, I just got this because it looked nice. But like, I've got a whole retro outfit, so.
All right. Totally mangled it. There it is. That's the wrong way too.
Ooh.
There it is. All right. I'm rearranging the scene here so that we can see myself, the K-pop star, and Wolfie3010. Now, why are you Wolfie3010?
Why am I Wolfie3010? Because I'm clearly Wolfie6020's son, right? According to McFlatty.
There you go. And Wolfie was gonna be there tonight, and then he had to go and work on the plane that, you know, he's a pilot. The plane was having some issues, so he had to be there to deal with any issues and make sure it was done properly. And, you know,
I can't share my screen.
Oh, I'll fix that. You can. Just a second,
because that will explain. I might actually change. Make it slightly darker there.
There you go. All right. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, and you'll see why I got you to turn your head to the side there. Screen 2, share.
It's for the game.
Yep.
Can you? We can't see the hair actually. Can you move your cursor up so we can see the hair? Keep going. There we go. Look at that.
So yeah, that's sort of. I'm gonna have to. I've decided to. The first scene that you're in, you'll just be crossing your arms, and if the player walks up to you, you'll say, "Move on," you know, go away, sort of thing. But later on, you'll become a more important character.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the big time.
Something like that.
All right. Let's see. I'm almost done with the where is it? I gotta add the window capture so I can get the browser. There it is. Oh, that is. Do I need to have that same like look? You think?
The same look here.
No, in the the K-pop star that was sent to me to compare myself to.
I'm gonna stop sharing so I can.
All right, you ready, people? There it is.
I mean, you got to sort of bring your hair down a bit more.
It does what it wants. There you go.
Yeah, that's a bit closer.
Done. All right. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I don't do this. This is not like it's in a midlife crisis. No. It's not me. Judy Bassett says my hair's longer than hers. Microraptor thinks I look like Trump. and Stringer News 1 says I've had a hard 13 years. My eyebrows are too straight. Oh yeah, that guy. Well, I don't have eyebrows. What are you talking about? Look at that.
Well, the thing,
there's nothing here.
Thing here is if anyone thinks MC Toon's hair is long, I mean, look at mine.
There you go.
Mine is way longer than MC Toon's. And no, I'm not cutting it.
So I need bigger ears. He does have big ears. Look at that. So, check Facebook, says in the George said. What do you want? Oh my gosh. Planer Walk, do you have some sunglasses?
Yes, I do. Give me a second.
All right, yeah, keep them on. Keep them on. Oh,
I know the image that you're going to bring up as well.
That's going to work. That is it. Oh, yes, that is totally it. How do you know this already? There it is.
Because the George sent the image to me as well.
Ah.
I just need this to have come out a bit further, you know?
That is awesome. It's totally it. That is you. I don't know who that is, but it's you.
It looks like I haven't seen the Matrix, but it looks like might be someone from the Matrix.
Is that the Matrix? That doesn't look like the Matrix.
People just said Alinity from the Matrix, so.
Oh, it is. Okay.
So you know.
There you go. You're good. So, all right. Discount Agent Smith.
I do need to watch the Matrix though.
What? Hold on a second. Did you just admit that you've not watched The Matrix?
I said that I hadn't seen The Matrix.
Oh my gosh. People. How can you live like that? You don't need to see the other two, just the first one. That's all you need. That's all you need. Yeah. Bedim says for shame. Isa says kick him. Zebulon 181 says, no nerd cred.
Other person says,
yeah.
Quickie says return the nerd card.
Absolutely. Man. PJC Net, who I think is a flatty, says we are in a simulation, not we might be. He says we are in a simulation. Oh, it's from Grandma's Boy, not from The Matrix. There you go.
Okay. Mr. Unite for the Children did give a fair reason. He says, don't shame him. Maybe they haven't gotten The Matrix down there in New Zealand yet, folks.
They have to reverse it so that it's not upside down.
Yeah, there's a lot of CGI that you got to do there.
I was going to have, when Wolfie and Tony were first on, I was going to have them both be upside down to start. But with the change and everything, I didn't get that in.
That would have been fun.
PhD Tony is finally off the phone. He had a long phone call just as we were ending.
Okay.
So now I saw you. You did a bit of a playing guitar stream.
Oh yeah, that's something that I decided to do because we're in lockdown. Usually, the way I practice guitar is by going out and busking, and it's like, oh, I haven't done that in a few weeks, so I decided, let's play some guitar.
It was good. So if you've not watched it and have a few hours to spare, go watch it.
Yeah. So I'm sure that at some points my singing was terrible, but I did try and mask that with a bit of maybe a bit too much reverb.
I'd not heard you sing before. You've played guitar before, but I was happily impressed.
Okay, that's
go.
always good. I actually guess who I got it was somewhat of a backhanded comment, but I'll compliment, but I'll take it as a compliment. Guess who gave me a compliment?
Glad Earth Aussie Jesus.
Well, he was there. I think he gave me a somewhat of a compliment, but there was actually someone that gave me a compliment, even though I'm sure he didn't show up for the part where I roasted him a bit, but I roasted him in a song.
Oh.
To guess who it might be.
Don't know.
Nathan Thompson.
Was he in your chat?
Yes, Be the Change.
Wow.
He said, he says, you're better at playing guitar than debating flurfs. Or than debating flat earthers.
The thing is, though, it's easy when you cheat, right? You make the other guy take the factually wrong position. So...
True.
Yeah. Hannah Anderson says, "Isn't Wolfie Aussie?" And people see the Wolfie, but they miss the 3010 right below it. This is not Wolfie. This is Wolfie's son, obviously, according to McFlatty. Yeah. So now people have been telling me that and listening to McFlatty, because McFlatty keeps challenging me to debate. McFlatty is like, are these people like, you should totally debate McFlatty? Like, ugh. What do you think? Should I debate McFlatty?
Yeah, absolutely.
There might be some logistical challenges to have a live debate with him, but I've put some thought into how to make that logistical thing happen. So
yeah, I'd love to see that kind of thing. Go ahead.
I can tell you it would be a lot of work.
I know it
to
would
have
be.
a live debate with McFlatty.
Yeah, like social distancing is going to be hard, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it would be on Zoom, of course.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he shows up at all the family reunions and everything, and this is a good one. Vadim says, you and Team Skeptic should do a debate versus McFlatty and Mallory.
Are you sure it's not pronounced Vadim?
It could be Vadim. What did I say?
You said Vadim.
I have no idea.
We need to know who's correct on this pronunciation.
I'm probably wrong. It's probably Vadim. That sounds better. The middle name is Slumovsky, which seems like it. Is that a sarcastic name, or is that actually a real name? And then the last name,
you got it right.
Radchenko? Vadim?
Yeah.
What? Where?
Vadim said MC Toon, so I think that means that you got it right there.
All right, Vadim. Awesome.
They said I'm not French as well.
I don't know. Oh man, Penguin95 says, I don't want to break it to you, McFlatty, but rumors are your wife cooks for McFlatty. Them's fighting words. Get Hans Wormhat on your show. I challenged him on Facebook. He immediately blocked me. Immediately. He is an absolute. I cannot take any challenge at all. So, what did you do?
I actually had earlier today, Jord was saying to me in Discord that a Flurf wants to debate me, and he asked when I'm free, and I said Sunday, 5th of September, and then the Jord tried to set it up, but then after a while during my stream, he said, "Dude blocked me."
The number of times that and the Jord said had a flatty for me that later turned out to block him is not zero. I was looking at some of my old I have all the live streams in a folder. And then typically what I do is when I'm making a thumbnail, I'll grab an old thumbnail and I'll copy it in and then customize it and stuff. So I'm scrolling back. I'm like, oh, look, it's going to be this guy here that and the George said was going to be there and then didn't. Two of them. Not Jordan's fault, but.
Yeah. The only person that I sort of have a pre-done thumbnail for is Nathan Oakley. He's the only person that I've kind of got because essentially with Nathan Oakley, what I've got is I've got this cutout of him that I did way back when I made the first video I made on him. And I just reuse that any time that I make a video on Nathan Oakley.
Which one is that? Is that the Vice interview?
No, it's not. I'll find it and send it to you. I've got it somewhere on my computer.
Probably just look at your channel and find that you have Nathan Oakley somewhere in your channel.
I mean that is also another way.
And people at home they can do that too. So, oh look, I'm live right now.
Oh, I actually recently saw a video where someone was live and it came up and it said that they were live, and they're like, why does YouTube tell me that I'm live? Like, does YouTube think that I don't know that I'm live right now?
Yeah.
It does the same to me as well.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Oh, wait, you've got the Clash of the Nutters as a different picture of Oakley.
I do?
Age go down as the one from Vice where his eyes are rolling. Yeah.
Most of the time I do use the same one, though.
Yeah, they are mostly the same. Oh, you got an old picture of Nathan Thompson from...
before he decided to go Amish, right?
Yeah, well, before Razors decided they hated him and didn't want to touch his face again. Oh my gosh, Safety K. McFlatty plus Quantum Degreaser versus Jon Snow in the plot hole. Oh, Quantum Degreaser. Love that guy. He's so good.
Speaking of, did you hear the stuff that Quantum Eraser was saying?
About the sextant?
No. It's something... I made a video on this, and it was just... I still have the image on my whiteboard if I go grab it.
Okay.
So I had to essentially draw it out because it's so simple that anybody should be able to get it. Right?
Okay.
So, the idea is that on a globe thing, this is the image that I had to describe it. You know, if Alice is looking at Bob, and Alice's eye level would be like that, right?
Yeah.
And Bob's eye level would be like that, right? However, Quantum Eraser was like, shouldn't it be... If I...
Usually Alice and Bob are used when you're talking about cryptography. That's where I've seen it most.
Oh, just remember that if you tell him that, he's probably going to say, so, I can't, how does it go? I came up with Yeah. So packets of data are sent in a container. And, Globies will say that packets of data drop, but I don't see any dropping.
It's because he's on the other side of the TCP layer 5 that retransmit drops packets. That's why he should switch to UDP. Then you'll see the drops.
Yeah. But anyway, so the way that he had it explained is, so this is Alice right here, and they'll have a drop going away from them. And then they described it as Bob over here. And Bob has a drop going away from them. And if they walk towards each other, they're going to fall down there.
Oh, a physical drop. Not a eyesight line drop. Wow.
Well, he also said that, so the eyesight line drop was in relation to this thing, Jesse Kozlowski, I think it was, a surveyor.
Yep.
And so the way that he was sort of visualizing it is, if you've got your survey thing there and it's got a, that's the crosshairs,
a survey
and the
thing.
Other one,
survey thing.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Theodolite.
Theodolite, yeah. And it's, this one is below it. Then it's like, then he's thinking that on a globe, if this is due to drop, this one should be higher.
Oh, wow. He's just dumb.
Yeah, it is facepalm inducing material. I don't often facepalm when I watch Flurf videos. By myself. I often do it for like comedic effect in videos. However, this actually had me face palming. Like when watching it just to review what he was saying, it had me face palming.
Yeah. I like what Isa said. QE is absolutely dedicated to being wrong. Gotta respect that. It is a lot of dedication that QE has. And just a little bit ago, Victor Crute, who watches QE, so stupid. He sent me a video on sextants. He says, "You're a lying prick. You have no ball," and then swore at me. "If I were you, may space B, watch that link until you realize you have no ball. It shows you why you don't." Now, he does not understand even the basics of geometry, not even at a kindergarten level.
Wait, is he also calling a 60-degree angle a right angle? That's like the only thing that I've heard about sextants recently. I need to brush up on this whole sextant argument, to be honest.
Gosh, that is so stupid. Yeah. Oh, and he said, so Victor Crute sent so he was in the Boy Scouts. And because he was in the Boy Scouts, he thinks he was in the British military. And how does he support that claim? Well, he went to the Wikipedia page for Scout, which is a military like position, and pasted it in. So a scout in the military is a real thing. And he was a Boy Scout, which are scouts. Therefore, he was in the British military.
How do you... That's like...
I mean,
is he going to enter the Olympics?
That is the target market for flat earthers like Huey and Oakley. The people that are that stupid. Yeah.
Like, because maybe they could start up a thing in the Olympics for like leaps of logic.
Ooh, yeah.
And and then the flat earthers could definitely compete there.
Who can make the longest leap of logic?
Yeah.
Oh, I got, and it's in the car. I got a set of logical fallacy cards, like flashcards, from Your Logical Fallacy Is website.
Okay.
It's pretty. Yourlogicalfallacyis.com. And right there, critical thinking cards. I have a set of them now. So it has 24 logical fallacies, 24 cognitive biases, and 3 game cards for how you can play games using them.
Okay.
There you go. I've read through them. One of them actually had, as a fallacy, it mentioned flat Earth.
Which one is that?
I don't remember.
Do you know?
I don't know. It was funny though. So
maybe we could wait. Hold on. There's a way to determine if that is a legitimate set of fallacies. Does it have the Neil deGrasse Tyson? No, the Snoop Dogg fallacy.
No. What was the?
It doesn't.
Oh, you got to be high, right?
Yeah, the Snoop Dogg fallacy. But here's the thing: whilst they're making up bullshit fallacies, we can also make up bullshit fallacies, like the Neil deGrasse Tyson fallacy,
which is
it's when they just bring up Neil deGrasse Tyson despite Neil deGrasse Tyson not being in the room.
Yeah, and also totally disagreeing with them. It is a fallacy, but here's the deal. Here's how much they love to lie. That's the thing. It is a lie. They are intentionally putting words into somebody else's mouth that they do not agree with and is not what they meant. They're intent.
Like one time I was talking to Nathan Thompson, right? And the thing that was brought up is Nathan Thompson mentioned Neil deGrasse Tyson and how Neil deGrasse Tyson said that if you had in reference to Cavendish, that if you had a third well, he said, oh, not Cavendish, Eratosthenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that if you had, that 2 wells could work on a flat Earth, right? And I was like, okay, what did he say next?
But not 3.
Right, because yeah, he said about 3 wells. If you're going to take what he said and say that, oh yeah, not Cavendish, Eratosthenes could work on a flat Earth, then you need to include the next part of the quote.
Yeah,
because otherwise it's very dishonest.
And to be more specific, I think it's worth saying, it's not that you're not where Eratosthenes was and where the well was. You're actually it's one measurement. It's from where he was with the stick to the subsolar point. So we identified the subsolar point as the place where the well had no shadow in it, right? That's just one measurement. Now, it is possible on the equinox for 2 different latitudes to match. Equally north and south of the equator will match and give you the same height for flat Earth. But only that day and only those. I don't think there's any others that would actually work.
Yeah.
And that is what Voliva used. He used those 2. And Voliva was a scammer in Zion, Illinois, which is now just a suburb of Chicago, who basically set himself up as the dictator, declared that the Earth was flat, and didn't allow anybody in town to disagree with him. One day, I think his house caught on fire, and then people discovered that he had a whole bunch of stuff in there that he shouldn't have had, because the people basically lived in poverty. And he took all their money.
Yeah. Well, the world has no shortage of scammers. You know, if you want to go scammed, if you want to get scammed, you don't have to look very far. I mean, you can either find a Nigerian prince or, give your money to Nathan Oakley or to Ken Wheeler or any of the doomsday cult people.
Yeah. So, John Rapp has a good question for us. How about the one from Mr. Fallacy himself? The thesis fallacy. What is the thesis fallacy?
I haven't.
I don't know.
Is it when you try and write a thesis, yet you have so many errors that everybody just laughs at it?
Like Riley?
Yeah, it could be.
No. No, I don't think that's it. All right. Super chat here from Rodent No Last Name, who says, I once had intimate relations with a VA nurse. Does that mean I was in the military too? Indeed, you were.
Yeah.
In the military for, all of 15 seconds, I suppose. Flo Rida says, where'd it go? Says, I have extremities. I am Army. I use Google Maps for navigation. I am Navy. I can swim. I am a Marine. I went to the zoo once. Thus, I am a SEAL. Nice.
Well, I think we're the only people that aren't in the army are the people without arms. Clearly.
Yes. Yep. Oh, yeah. I've had many flirts use Zion, Illinois as proof that flat Earth was taught in schools before NASA. And yeah, so that makes me think that when the scumball Dearth interviewed that old lady, and she said that she was taught that the Earth was flat when she was young, that is apparently that is like their best evidence that flat Earth was taught in schools. But it's a lady who's old and has, at that age, their memory is kind of questionable, but that's their best evidence. Could you show? There's also an article from one newspaper that was a conspiracy garbage newspaper making the same kind of similar claims. So there's two things. Well,
yeah,
wouldn't you expect to see maybe a book that was used in school?
There is. Have you not seen the Barnabas? Or I don't think it was Barnabas, but there was someone that had this encyclopedia, and in it mentioned how they went to Antarctica, and there was a dome in Antarctica.
And they don't even. They miss the thing, like the height of the dome is actually the next thing right after. There was a dome here and it was this high. Wait a second. How high was the dome? That doesn't make sense. Not at all.
I actually literally went on Google Earth, right? Found the coordinates that it was referencing and saw, that's the height that it said the elevation there
is
the height that it said
ground level.
Yeah. It's like
so dumb. So stupid.
What do they think? Do they think that the plane like literally crashed into the dome and exploded or something?
What was a rocket or a plane?
No,
Yeah, I've seen that too. I don't know. Hold on.
Did they think that? Or
YouTube says he can't see it. I got nearly everyone in this chat blocked, including Toon. So, Ute. I don't see any of it.
I don't know what.
Ute likes to block people and then complain when it gets blocked, but not sure.
Yeah, I've actually started taking a bit more of a. I am not in big favor of blocking people. However, if someone is in my chat if someone is in my chat just to say random nonsense, right? I basically take the same measure. So if it's clearly a bot account, I will block them. But if it's someone trying to just spout flat earth nonsense, I'll say, okay, unless you engage with either what's being said or engage with other people in the chat, I am going to mute them. So that's why Flat Earth Aussie Jesus hasn't been muted. Yet this person in my chat the other day called Flat Earther, they were blocked because I said, okay, you've got to either acknowledge what I'm saying. And I said, okay, we're getting up to a point where if next time you say something, you have to say this phrase. I think it was like gravity is density or something like that, right? They did not say that phrase. They didn't even acknowledge that I asked them to say that phrase. So I was like, okay, you're getting blocked because of the simple fact they weren't engaging with anything, right?
Yeah.
They could have had my stream paused for all I know and were just, typing in chat because they weren't responding to anything. I said they weren't responding to anything that anybody else in the chat was saying. So I was like, okay, I think I have reasonable, I think it is reasonable to block this person because they're just not engaging.
Yeah, and sometimes Gary Wybenga does that. He gets in, he doesn't even play the video.
But at least with Gary Wybenga, he does address. I've seen him in chat addressing other people. I've seen him even addressing me, and that's why I haven't blocked him.
Oh yeah. He sometimes gets the Vicky treatment because he talks about coming on, but I like to have him in there because how else am I going to get quotes for the Gary Wybenga chatbot? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 of them now.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
That'll be fun too.
Horizons are just the optical limit for seeing surface detail at the narrow end of the observer's angle of view over a flat surface. That is why it appears as a horizontal straight line across. Nope.
Are these actual chats or is it the chat box?
This is actual chats that I've captured.
Okay.
The horizon is always under eye level because they are parallel lines. If the Earth were flat, true, there would be a drop. Depending on how far away you might think that the Earth is, right? If it's an infinite plane, then no, there would be no drop because it's infinite. If it's ice wall distance, well then it's going to be so much smaller than you can actually measure that it is effectively zero drop. Unless you're maybe in, southern Tasmania or something.
I'm just going to look for something because there is a thing that I've seen where on Twitter a while back where it was Gary Wybenga in the chat and Ragical, I think it was Ragical, screenshotted a bit of this something that Gary Wybenga said.
Oh.
And I'm just trying to find it. It's not. Might take a while to find the thing that I'm looking for, but.
YouTube says you doesn't agree on the Earth topic, but your G5, you mean 5G, right? 5G vids exposing that very, very expert guy are funny as hell. Well, thanks. I have, as always, I have a couple in the works, including a song, Conspiracy Cats style song I have done. It's already done. It'll be in the next full-length video on him.
Do you want to actually take a listen to something that I've been working on?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let me make sure that I have the right thing. Yes, you should be able to make sure. Okay. So this is something that I've been working on called counter-space word salad.
Okay.
And so here we go.
the photon idea is an abstraction from misunderstanding the coaxial nature of light, which is a refraction and compression along the dielectric. Yes, and that of course is just a compound ether perturbation modality, because that's all a field is, and I define that in my definition. Counter space. Counter space. Rate of induction. Counter space. Counter space. Counter space. Well, it's the ether. Counter space. Counter space. Harmonic incommensurability.
So yeah, that's just a sneak preview.
That's awesome. That it is so much rubbish that he just talks. There is absolutely zero empirical supporting evidence for what he says. It's and people just gobble it up because they don't understand that none of what he says has ever been confirmed in any way.
Yeah, he uses big words to try and sound smart, essentially.
Yeah.
I like how Quickie in the chat said ball, sphere. And that is where I did get the idea for this from, so.
Well, that's cool. All right. You know, it is 3 a.m. You know that?
That's quite...
The sun is down because the earth is not flat.
I would say that's quite late, but not really. Like, when do I usually go to bed? Around about 5 a.m.?
Yeah, but I have a job. You don't. I don't know.
I mean...
Are you not working right now?
I mean, I do YouTube stuff that makes enough money to pay rent, and then there is also busking, which makes enough money to buy food, and then there's also this game that I'm busking, playing guitar.
Oh, I didn't. Busking is a new word for me.
Yeah, busking.
Okay.
And the people that do busking are known as buskers. You might have seen them. Street artists is also another way that they're.
Yeah, that makes sense. So cool.
And then there's also the game that I'm working on. So that's another thing that hopefully I can get a new version out of that. I've recently enlisted the help of someone else. So that will hopefully speed development along.
That's cool. Yeah, people. Dark Steve says, "Tune, what up with the hair?" This is my 80s hair, and the ladies like it.
That's always good.
Isa says, "Another sign of your midlife crisis: new hair and staying up late." No, I have always stayed up late. 2 a.m. is about the earliest I go to bed. If maybe like midnight if I have nothing to do, but yeah. MC Tunes area is too posh for buskers. I've just never heard the term before. I don't know if it's not an American term. Maybe it's a Commonwealth term.
Yeah, it seems to be Americans that just haven't heard of the term. Even like someone that lives in California, and you'd think that California would have a lot.
Oh, there's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
So street performance or busking. There aren't a lot of them in Minneapolis area. Like there's a good number of the guys that have 5-gallon buckets that play drums. And they're interesting for about 5 seconds. But
I found the
instruments now.
Yeah. I found the thing, by the way.
Well, you found the thing.
The thing that Gary said.
Oh, yes.
Gary said, "The sun does not sink; it slants forward."
Oh man, PJCnet says you can predict things on Flat Earth too. I have never once seen any Flat Earth prediction. So PJCnet, what can be predicted on Flat Earth? You tell me the topic, and then I will give you the thing that you can then use the Flat Earth idea to predict. Just give me the topic, huh?
I just noticed in chat, Gordov Raichi, I think it's 50 recently.
Yeah.
I actually, she actually got back to me because I just randomly decided, check up, see how she's doing, right? And yeah, it's one of the things where, that she was taking a break from stuff. So yeah. I do randomly send messages to people. MC Toon can probably attest to that.
Yep. It's always, can I ask a question? I'm like, oh, he wants me to do something. Or Indie Tiger says busking is a term known to some Americans. It is now known to me. That's it.
There's something that.
Go ahead.
Something that I think everybody in New Zealand knows, except for maybe people that are somehow detached
from America,
or detached from going outside, maybe.
So, well, what do we got? What can we use to predict their PJC net? Ute says, I predict the planes will be able to land perfectly fine if they fly to the equator, indicating... No, that's not... Oh, Ute doesn't understand conservation of momentum. Oh, they'd be out of sync with the ground. Yes. Yes, well, there's such thing as thrust. So...
Yeah, thrust is a great thing. Oh, FTF is in the chat.
Who? Oh, there he is. You're still live. I've been to bed, got up, and got the kids to school. Yes, I'm still live. All right, I'm still waiting. We're waiting for PJCnet, who has claimed that Flat Earth can make predictions. I'm just waiting for the topic. Oh, there it is. PJCnet, I've been up all night with about 1 hour sleep. That's not... Dude.
That is a Flat Earth prediction. That is a Flat Earth prediction.
Oh my gosh.
Flat Earthers will stay up all night with about 1 hour sleep. That's Flat Earth proof here right there, right?
Here, let me give you here's the thing. Let me give you an example, PJCnet. I can, with the globe, predict the angle that the sun will rise for any day of the year at any location. That's a prediction, right? And here's the deal with science. You have a hypothesis. That hypothesis then you use to make a prediction. As Feynman said, you use it to calculate the not ramifications, but something like that. A synonym to ramifications. Consequences. You calculate the consequences of that prediction, that hypothesis. I'm getting tired. And then if they don't match with observations, your hypothesis is wrong. So PJCnet, use the Flat Earth idea to, I don't want to say model. It's not even a model. It doesn't even rise to that level. Use Flat Earth to predict the angle of sunrise for Sydney, Australia on December 20th. Nice and easy. Use that day, the equinox, there, the solstice, right? And if it's wrong, then your idea is wrong.
Oh no.
What?
I just looked in chat. The personal dome thing that Jeranism did.
Oh, there it is. Yep. The sun follows a path in your own unique perspective, like a small dome above you. All right, PJCnet, what is the plausible mechanism that causes this to happen? it's a hope and a dream, unless you have a plausible mechanism.
I did
you
notice
won't.
something earlier in chat, by the way. Something that
Just play like quick, easy games like that. So the longest that you can play a single thing on Clash Royale is 5 minutes.
what I do is usually I just follow a couple of game series. So I play more of story-based games. So that's like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. And there hasn't been a Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy game coming out, and I don't even know when the next one's supposed to come out. Like
Yeah, I saw you did a live stream when Kingdom Hearts came out.
Kingdom Hearts
Recently.
3.
Yeah.
That was a while back, I think. And that was sort of that was when my channel initially sort of had a burst of growth, and then I played Kingdom Hearts, and that kind of killed that growth. I shouldn't have done that, to be honest.
Gleam says that Wolfie has lost weight. Apparently Gleam also missed that there's a 3010 underneath Wolfie's instead of a 6020.
Yeah,
Gleam,
a lot of people are
Gleam.
missing that.
Gleam, that's not Wolfie. That's Wolfie 3010. Wolfie's son, because they're both
Wolfie
from
Jr.
They're both from Australia.
Yeah, or you could just call me Wolfie Jr. Either
Wolfie
works.
Jr. Anyway, Gleam, welcome. It's half a Wolfie. I don't know. I don't know. You might only be a third of Wolfie. All right, I'm still waiting. Nothing from PJC. PJC Net it's the ultimate tease, isn't it? Planar Walk.
Yeah.
They're like, Flat Earth can do this. We're like, oh, well, let's see it. You're just waiting forever. Never comes. Where is it, PJC Net? What can you predict with Flat Earth? And Ute doesn't understand. Again, thrust. Look at this. The plane's max speed is 500 miles an hour, and at the time it would need to speed up by 800 miles an hour to land, and that's sideways. So he misses. I don't know if Ute's a male or female, so sorry if I'm getting it wrong. Misses that when you travel just the first, let's say, mile, and there's a slight difference in lateral speed, you thrust to the side to account for that. And then that first mile's worth of lateral speed difference, you don't have to make up again, right? So you've already dealt with that first mile's lateral speed difference. And so now you're essentially at the same speed as the point in the ground underneath the new point in the ground, right? So then you go another mile and there's a slight lateral speed difference. And so it just has to correct for that slight new lateral speed difference. This isn't that hard to understand, Ute. I really hope that you can get this, but you've been struggling with this for years. It's really not hard.
The way that I describe it is well, actually, a good example is the whole what was the guy that jumped out of
the Red Bull jump? Yeah,
Felix Baumgartner. With that, right? Nathan Thompson a while back brought up the whole jump and how, Coriolis or something should have impacted that, right? But I actually went ahead, did the calculations, very rudimentary calculations, and I found that the most that it could have been affected by would have been about, I think it was about 13 kilometers, right? But however, it should have. So if we just take into account Coriolis, then he should have landed 13 kilometers to the west.
But
right?
But why would he have to take into account Coriolis? There is no lateral speed.
Well, but by going up, it's sort of, how do I put this? It's by going up, the motion from the balloon would have been slightly different to the ground speed, right? And so would have had to complete a greater arc. Now I worked it out, and just considering Coriolis, it would have been a difference of 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers to the east, to the west, I think. However, what happened is he landed 50 kilometers in the other direction, right?
Yeah.
And the reason is
wind.
clearly...
Yeah. Did I steal your
Yeah,
thunder?
exactly. And if he can land 50 kilometers in the opposite direction due to wind, it's not completely unreasonable that that wind could have accounted for that extra 10 kilometers.
Yeah. All right. Here, this is craziness, Ute. Ute. All of these people, there's people after people in the chat trying to explain this to you. Just for a second, Ute. Just for a second, consider the possibility that the problem isn't that all of these people are wrong, but instead consider the possibility, just maybe, that you don't quite understand all of the necessary parts of it. Just for a second, think, maybe the fault isn't everybody else. Give it a shot.
John Rapp just called me out saying you did a great job on the sun height above a flat earth a while ago, but you failed to allow for the Coriolis Aether band effect.
Absolutely. The Coriolis Aether band. It's crazy, yeah.
I've never heard of it. I'm going to have to...
Yeah, Ute. You didn't actually consider that, did you? Just consider you might be wrong. You might not understand it. All of these other people do, and shake their head wondering how you don't understand it, Ute. You should have a little bit of self-awareness and say, wow, maybe they're not wrong. That's what I'm saying, Ute. Think about that.
That's what I do whenever I see someone talking about concepts that go over my head. Like, there's two possible things that I can say, right? I can say either A, they should use simpler words so that I can understand it, right? Or B, maybe that's something that they do understand and I'm just not getting it. Now, generally, the first thing that I go to is me not understanding it properly and it being something they did. And sometimes I will kind of be like, maybe they've got it wrong. And there's been one time when it's been like, I felt like they had it wrong. I talked to someone about it and it turned out that they had it right. And it was this person called Edward Current. Have you heard of that guy?
No.
Okay, so he made a video explaining how gravity isn't a force, right? And it just didn't, his explanation didn't sit right with me. Eventually, I looked into it and I was like, okay, so the reason why gravity isn't considered a force is because if you are in free fall, right, it's indistinguishable from if you were in the absence of a gravitational field.
I'm sorry, I was reading chat.
So,
say the last sentence again.
So if you are in free fall, it's indistinguishable from being in the absence of a gravitational field.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is why gravity is not considered a force.
Yeah, it's like Einstein's elevator, right? The corollary to that is if you're accelerating at 9.8 meters per second squared, you can't distinguish it from being in a gravitational field of 9.8 meters per second squared.
Yeah.
Right. So
And because of that, um, because of that, one of the things that's often used to sort of explain is the reason why you experience gravity, according to some explanations, is the Earth is just accelerating upwards at 9.81 meters per second squared. Now, obviously, it's a little more complex than that, but that's usually a simple way of explaining it, right? And it's one of them things which it's very difficult to wrap your head around when you first hear that. However, people like Einstein and other people that are smarter than me that I don't exactly know the names of, they have been using this for things like GPS. And so I don't have to understand it. I can just take their word for it because they make things that are useful. If something's wrong, someone smarter than me can take it up with them.
yeah. They're like, well, I can't confirm it myself. Maybe you're not smart enough to confirm it yourself. That doesn't mean it's wrong, right? There are things you can confirm yourself, right? Like,
yeah,
like they never get the geometry of that the sun could never set, right? Because to do it, to do it in a not 2-scale drawing, you need sine, cosine, stuff like that, which no flat earther can do 8th grade math. None of them, right? And I'm excluding Gleam because he's not a true flat earther. He knows the Earth is not flat. But I don't know. I'm not certain Gleam can handle.
Isn't Gleam one of these simulation Earth people?
He's a bit of a simulation Earth person, but I think he's more. He calls himself a mock Earther, MACH. Like he's like, well, the Earth could be either. No, it could not be either. It could be one or the other or something else, but not
maybe
either. They are mutually exclusive.
Maybe he's a quantum Earther. Thinks that the Earth is subatomic and can exist
simultaneous. Yeah, a Schrodinger's cat Earther.
Possibly.
All right. Scythe DK sent me a thing. They just, so Witsit claims that you cannot go to within 500 miles of the North Pole with zero evidence for that at all. Scythe sent a thing about people that were less than 500 miles away that found an island. So Gleam says, no way, anti-simulation, haha. Do you even know who Ernst Mach was? He was a realist and did not even believe in subatomic particles. Haha, you just made it up, though I suppose it's entertainment. I don't know your position on simulation. So
yeah, like my whole thing about subatomic particles was a joke that was like meant to be about Schrodinger's cat, basically.
Yeah. All right, PJC Net, you have not yet told us what Flat Earth can predict. So I'm waiting.
Oh, we've got an ex-Flat Earther in chat.
Perspective.
Yeah, maybe he can tell us what Flat Earth can predict.
Yeah, what can Flat Earth predict? I know what his answer will be. PJC is having a conversation about overexposure on cameras. Here, I'm going to do one more attempt to explain to Ute, right? So Ute, to simplify this thought experiment, let's take that there is no such thing as wind. Wind doesn't exist right now, okay? And you're starting at the North Pole, where the rotation is 0. Well, you're still rotating, but the lateral speed is 0. And then you fly south 1 mile. Now, at 1 mile south, the air is rotating at the same rotation as the Earth. Okay, and I said there's no wind to simplify it. You need to do the lateral speed adjustment over that mile. It's smaller than that, but we're breaking it into miles. The lateral speed adjustment over that first mile. Now, when you get to that first mile, the air is moving at the same rate as the Earth. And you've adjusted that horizontal speed. So now your airspeed, your horizontal airspeed is 0. If you did not make that adjustment, your horizontal airspeed would be whatever the difference in lateral speed of the Earth rotation is. So, but your airspeed is 0 when you've gone that first mile. So you don't need to, when you get to the last mile, you don't have to make an adjustment in that last mile. That's 800 miles an hour lateral, right? You go small increment. Now you're at the lateral speed of the air above that point. Do it again, do it again, do it again. It adds up. It's cumulative. It takes the entire flight to make that difference happen. It's really not that complicated. I wish that you could just allow that might be what's going on, and instead of, I don't know, that you just won't let go of it. So Perspective says flat earthers can predict that things disappear from the bottom up. True. As things get farther away, everything will disappear from the bottom up. Flat Earth Prediction 101. And if you missed it last week, I debated the guy who is the most experienced flat earther that I've ever debated. He claimed 7 years. And I said, you know what? I don't want to straw man your model. So could you tell me the formula for flat earth for how much should be obstructed with distance? He had nothing. because according to physics, h, which would be the hidden height, h for flat earth, h equals 0. That's the formula. But I didn't want to straw man his position, so I gave him a chance to tell me the formula, and he didn't have it. So
yeah, well, that's the thing. I have said this for a long time, and that is flat earth just completely lacks any kind of specificity, right? They'll say, flat earth is correct because of this, that, and the next thing, right? They'll say, it's not gravity, it's density and buoyancy. It's like, okay, can you give us a formula as for how that makes things go down, right? And then they try and avoid that by saying, well, maths isn't reality. And it's like, no, you can't, but you can derive a formula from reality. And the best that they can do is probably say, there's a 9.81 meters per second squared acceleration. And it's like, well, yeah, but that doesn't explain the whole buoyancy thing, right?
Yeah.
And then it doesn't account for at the equator where things are lighter. So therefore that's somewhat falls apart.
Well, that is the essence of my $10,000 challenge. All you need to do, flat earthers, to win that $10,000 is to predict the downward acceleration at different points on the earth better than gravity and centrifugal force does. That's it. That's all you got to do. $10,000 is yours. And here's the cool thing, flat earthers, it's an objective test because I have provided the formula in my challenge to do it. So my challenge outputs a number, right? And the challenge is I will provide 3 locations and the flat earther provides 3 locations. So there's 6 locations. So you apply my formula, my hands are out of it. I don't get to change it once the challenge has been accepted. You apply that formula, you get the numbers. Then they do the same thing. They apply their formula.
Can we ignore the northern hemisphere?
No.
Bugger.
I have chosen 3 locations. And so the flat earther can choose whatever 3 locations they want as well. But it won't matter because my locations I have chosen so that the numbers are the measured value of gravity should be very different, right? So basically, a northern latitude at low elevation and a middle latitude, near the equator at high elevation. The Earth globe model with a varying radius and a varying centrifugal force predicts that the gravitational force, the downward acceleration near the poles at high latitudes at low elevation should be high. And at the equator at high elevations, it should be low.
Because I have worked out, right, that if you completely ignore the northern hemisphere, right, then or if you actually, I suppose if you say that the center of the Earth is the South Pole, you can also do this, right? Yeah. If the flat Earth is spinning, right, that means that as you get further out from the center of the Earth, then things should be heavier.
Okay.
And that is something that you can try and employ to explain why things are heavier, whether you're closer to the equator. However, it only works in one direction. So, or things are heavier when you get closer to a pole, but you can only use it for one pole because things should be completely lighter at the other pole.
PJCnet, is that actually proven that you weigh slightly less at the equator? You will say it is, but you'd be trusting the narrative. It's been measured. So here's the deal, PJCnet. Somebody that has gone and done measurements always beats always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I should know this because my father did the measurements because Wolfie3010.
Air pressure. Let me make this clear, Ute. These measurements that they've done are in an evacuated chamber. The pressure inside the chamber is always the same, yet there is a variation in the downward acceleration. But here's the deal, Ute. Send us the formula. Go ahead. Send the formula that predicts that.
And it is consistent with, I keep on mixing up latitude and longitude. I think it's latitude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wolfie3010 actually has a great video where he went to 3 places in Australia and he had a 500 gram weight and a scale, which was a very sensitive scale calibrated to that weight. And I can't remember whether he started in Sydney or whatnot. I couldn't remember the 3 locations.
Broome was one of them, I think.
Yeah, Broome, and I think one of them was Adelaide. I can't remember. Anyway, he went he started sort of in the middle. Then I think he went south or north. Either way, when he went south,
multiple latitudes, yeah.
When he went south, it weighed more. Then he went back to the initial latitude and measured it to make sure that it was still 500 grams because, something might have gone wrong and it was still 500 grams. Then he went to Broome and then he got a measurement that was consistent with what you'd expect on the globe.
Absolutely. And we've got, I love how they deflect. Ute says, have you ever seen those scams where people claim things can roll uphill? Yep, that is just an optical illusion that they do. That has nothing to do with the measured variation of gravity. That could not be due to air pressure because it's in an evacuated chamber. They've controlled for that.
I do have to. Someone gave a good explanation of something earlier. Isa said breathing is just an assumption based on the globe model.
I like Perspective's answer. There is no air pressure on flat Earth. Flat Earthers don't breathe. Stop straw manning them. And that's it. It's totally Totally it. Anyway, I need to go. I gotta get going. I'd just sit here all night with you guys. I kind of already did. Let me read this here. We've got a rodent, no last name, says these cows are small. Those cows are far. And then again, rodent, no last name comes in. If the sun never sets over the British Empire, how does the sun hover over the British Islands? Checkmate, ball earthers. Wait, what? Oh, and one more time, rodent, no last name, says Wolfie3010. That is a fabulous jacket you have on. Either you're starting a metal David Bowie tribute band or preparing your rock opera concert album. It is fabulous.
Yeah, like as I said earlier, the reason why I got this jacket was just because I thought that it looked nice. So I thought, I'm going to grab this jacket and, and get it. And, I've gotten so many compliments, and I like getting compliments based on nice clothing. So
there you go. PJCnet, I would love to see your predictions. Send me an email, mc2@mc2.net, and you can come on. I'll give you, I don't know, you tell me what you want. You tell me how long you need to present your evidence. You will get the platform to present your evidence. We'll figure something out. But, yeah. Saturday, I'm debating Witsit and somebody else on Modern Day Debate.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. That's it. I'm ready. I'm tired. Anything you want to say before we go? It's not a toupee. It's real.
We've got Eric Vox asking me, any plan to continue live on your channel? I'm not going to be going live at this time because I should probably work on on the song that I'm doing called It's Not Gas Pressure, It's Atmospheric Pressure.
You're going to do it 1,000 times?
Oh, no, I'm not going to do it 1,000 times. It's just a song which is going to have Ranty not really singing. And I've already done a stream today, so.
There you go. All right, everybody. We will see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye.